Everybody, welcome to another edition of Screen Time with Gary Tanguay, along with Drew Yanno. Screen Time, movies, streaming, and more. Today's topic, The Old Man, involving an outstanding cast and two actors that Drew and I both love, John Lithgow and Jeff Bridges. It happens on FX and Hulu. I just finished binge watching this literally 2 minutes ago. As a matter of fact, I was late for my podcasting time with Drew because I had to finish the final episode. So Drew is the guy that turned me on to this. So Drew, I'm going to let you set it up.
Yeah, it was a simple thing. I don't know what I was watching, basketball, something, and there was a preview for this. And it was Jeff Bridges doing TV. And I'm like, Jeff Bridges doing TV? What, are you kidding me? And it's the old man. I'm like, I guess he's the old man. And
Or is he? We'll get to that later.
Yeah, exactly. So, it looked really good. And I remember I was watching with Suzanne and I said, we should watch this. And our daughter, Megan, happened to be with us. And she said, I want to watch that too. So when she came over for dinner, we turned on the first episode and were blown away. It's like, holy shit, this is good. Right. And, Bridges and Lithgow, first of all, phenomenal. And the premise, and as you told me over the phone the other day, they get right into it. And, right. and you got to jump on the train because they get into it. And the premise is brilliant. And I have to stop here and say it's not original. It's from a novel by a guy named Thomas Perry, who's written a bunch of good stuff. And, they bought the rights a while ago. I think 5 years ago, they were going to start making it, but it got delayed, as everything always does. We talk about that. We talked about that with Queen's Gambit, how many years that was delayed. So that's what got me. And we just kept waiting every week to see the next episode. And then we got to the 7th episode and watched it and thought, man, this is really good. They're walking to the airplane. This is great. It's like, Casablanca. And then I don't hear anything. So I start Googling, when is that 8th episode? And it's like, there is no 8th episode. That's it. So that's the interesting part about it, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into the old-fashioned cliffhanger, which happened for a medical reason. But it just shows that the old guys have plenty left in the tank, which you and I absolutely love. I want to talk about Bridges and Lithgow and start, because me. Drew is much more of a writer than I am. I've written and I continue to write, but I'm the actor in the group. And I just, I look at a guy like Bridges, who at his age right now just hasn't lost it. I don't know if he's considered a movie star or an actor's actor, but I just find him so compelling in anything he does. No matter what he's in, I have to watch him. And he never looks like he's acting. Never. But it's also not like he's putting on dialects and doing a Daniel Day-Lewis method acting thing. He's kind of uses the same vehicle. His body is his vehicle, and that doesn't really change. But nonetheless,
think of these three things.
Yes.
Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Hell or High Water.
Right.
The Fabulous Baker Boys, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. Someday we're going to have to talk about that. It's going to be a movie I'm going to make people watch.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Just a phenomenal movie.
Great movie.
He's with his brother Jeff there because they play brothers. And just think of those three things. We
didn't even mention the Academy Award.
No. Where there's Crazy Heart.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, Crazy Heart. Yeah, but there's a ton. The guy just acts. You want a solid, dependable actor for a part? Jeff Bridges, he'll do it.
Yeah,
he's just great.
And I don't know if he gets the credit that he deserves, but nonetheless, he's fantastic in this because he can turn evil in a heartbeat. Because the role that he plays, Dan Chase, is a former CIA operative who went rogue, and he has to pay for a sin 30 years later when he's quote unquote an old man. And it's not your typical drama, Drew, where he's perfect. Dan Chase, the character he's played, has done some bad things.
A lot of bad things.
So this is what I enjoyed about it, is he's not just simply heroic. He's not Gary Cooper. He's flawed. There are some flaws with this guy.
And when it opens, he thinks he's okay. He thinks his life is okay. He's got a new identity. His wife has passed away, although we see a haunting dream about her.
Right.
And you think, okay, he got away with whatever he got away with. And suddenly he hasn't, because something happened and they're after him.
Right. Enter John Lithgow. And now we have to talk about John Lithgow, Yale Drama School, um, who there is no one who can play a villain and a comedic lead and a dramatic lead like
Yeah.
John Lithgow. He is the greatest range of any actor ever. But De Niro, I should say De Niro. De Niro has been able to do it with oh my god, the movie he did with Nick Nolte, Come Out Wherever You Are. When he played the psycho with Nick Nolte, I forgot that.
Oh yeah.
I have to look it up because I can't remember anything anymore. But needless to say, De Niro's got pretty good range in that regard. But Lithgow, and according to Gart, plays the tight end who's going through a sex change. And then Third Rock from the Sun, he plays the comedic alien father, right? And then he reads children's books at libraries, and then he can play a psycho in a Sylvester Stallone movie in Cliffhanger. And in this one, he plays, the assistant director to the FBI, who also is flawed. And the scenes towards the end of the series with Lithgow and Daniels Bridges in the car, it's a masterclass. It's a freaking masterclass.
The final episode is worth the whole thing.
Oh my
because
God.
when you see the two of them in the car and you're thinking, how good can it be in the car? And by the way, it was the first scene they filmed together. So you watch the whole thing and you think, oh, they've been doing that. No, the first thing they did together
in
is
the
car scene, which is brilliant. Great writing, great acting.
So we're also going to give you a spoiler alert here, folks. So you do watch it, but these two guys were young CIA operatives 30 years ago, and they did something. And now they're paying
FBI and CIA, right? Wasn't he?
Well, I think they both were CIA. Then
at the time,
I thought he left the CIA to go to the FBI.
That's right.
So we're cruising right along. So they have to pay for past sins, right? So that's what's happening. So then enter, and correct me here if I'm missing something at all, but like I have to give her name. I've never heard of her. I don't know if I've seen her in other things, but plays Jeff Bridges' daughter.
Aaliyah Shawkat.
What's that?
Shawkat. I don't know.
Aaliyah Shawkat. I want to make sure. I apologize if I didn't get it right, but I've never heard of it. She's fantastic.
Maybe my favorite actor in the thing, and that's saying something because you couldn't stop watching her.
Fantastic. And now, spoiler alert. Okay. So I'm cruising right along and I'm going, okay, where's this thing going? Because I don't want to get too confusing. Amy Brenneman is in 5 episodes. She's the love interest of Jeff Daniels, right? And Jeff Bridges. And this is the problem I have with this. I want to get this out of the way, and then we'll get to Aaliyah. Amy Brenneman is just, to me, so misplaced. She sleeps with Jeff Bridges. She doesn't have to sleep with him. He could be her father still. It doesn't work for me. And then she's not even in the end. I'm like, why is she there? Did you see a purpose for her?
Yeah, he's got an exposition. He's got to explain things to her
done it better.
That explains it to us. And it also humanizes him because without her, his wife is dead. He's apparently abandoned his daughter. So you need to see something softening. And as tough as he is with her, he cares about her.
Well, and you're right about this. I think they could have done I personally, I would have done it differently. I thought it was a little cliche. That's my criticism of this. He's on the run. They want to kill him because he knows too much about something, an operation that went awry 30 years ago. So he's on the run. He ends up at her house. Next thing you know, he's cooking her eggs. Next thing you know, they're going to dinner. She's a divorcee. They sleep together. And I go, okay. I would have liked it if they were just friends. I would have liked it if it was Helen Mirren. Helen Mirren, somebody his own age.
But what happens after that is so cool. I loved it personally. It didn't bother me. I understand there's an age difference, but look around Hollywood. There's an age difference.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not every couple. So,
and I guess, and I can understand why women may have a problem with this. I mean, how many times I suppose now you see, younger men and older women. They've since made movies about it, but it was just, I don't know, to me that they didn't fit. What was so cool about it? What did you like after that about it? That
she has to go on the run with him. Her life is completely torn apart. And I don't want to, again, spoilers.
Spoiler alert. I mean, she goes on the run with him, but so anyways, but I digress. That's my only real problem with this.
She does a great turn in the apartment that supposedly where they think she's his wife, she does a
Right.
great turn
She
there.
does a great job there. Right. I agree. She does a great, and also at the roadblock, he plays the husband,
Mhm.
and I understand that. So, anyways, Alia Shawkat or Elia Shawkat, who is fantastic. So she plays the daughter. Again, spoiler alert. So at the beginning of this, first of all, did you see it coming? The big reveal. Did you see it coming?
Well, there's two reveals.
Okay, with her, the
Yeah,
first
there's two reveals with her.
the second one, I wondered. The first one I did not see coming. Did you see
No,
the
I
first
didn't see it coming at all.
Okay.
But I did wonder because she had a Middle Eastern appearance. So
Didn't enter my mind at all.
yeah, it entered my mind. The second one I should have seen coming because it's the most obvious one.
I saw that one coming.
But they never, I don't remember them ever teasing that. And I don't want to go into it because we don't want to spoil it.
Well, we might have
You know, if you're watching this, just watch the show.
watch the show.
Alicia Scott is fantastic. She's a pivotal character. I mean, and she's between Lithgow and Bridges. She's the thing that ties them together.
Correct.
Ultimately, in this, not way back when, because well, I'm not going to spoil it, but in this, in this 7-episode series, season 1, she's what ties those two guys together.
Right. So
because he's like her adopted father, not officially, but he's her mentor. So he cares about her.
So what happens is her character, Angela Adams, is the assistant to the deputy.
Who they call Emily. You're going to get confused with names, folks.
Oh, I know.
Because Dan Chase becomes Johnny at some point.
Because he becomes Johnny. So basically, this comes down to she has 3 father figures, and I'll let everybody figure out the rest.
Yeah.
The warlord, John Lithgow, and Jeff Bridges, right? And she has 3 father figures. That's what you guys can figure at the rest. You can watch it. And there is a reveal to me that saves the series because she is working as an assistant for Lithgow.
Are you going to give away the reveal?
Should we? I don't know. Okay,
no,
don't. Okay, but she's working as an assistant for Lithgow. There is a reveal that makes the series all worth watching.
Correct.
That's why you need to watch this. I think it makes.
There's a lot that makes this worth watching.
Okay, so then we don't want to get too caught up in that. I want to talk about Bill Heck, who plays the young Dan Chase, who plays
fantastic
the young Jeff Bridges, and I want Liam Lubani, who plays the young Abby Chase. The 2 younger versions of them, they are phenomenal. As a matter of fact, Heck, he's had some success. He's done a lot of like one-off things, episodes, guest stars and stuff. He reminded me of a young Ed Burns.
Yeah, he did. He looks like a young Ed Burns. And what's interesting is we all know what young Jeff Bridges looks like because we saw him.
Correct.
And it's not what young Jeff Bridges looked like. But in the show, you see him and you go, oh, yeah, he could be young Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, I believe that.
I thought they cast him perfectly.
The casting in some of these streaming shows. I mean, there's so much out there.
Everything in the streaming is better than anything right now. End of story. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, some of these kids like EJ Bonilla is a new kid. He plays an FBI.
Really good.
He's great in it.
He plays the CIA guy who sort of knows something's going on, but he doesn't know what.
There's just so many good, like Joel Grey is in it. Joel Grey he plays the former boss of Lithgow and Jeff Bridges.
And let's not give anything away there.
Let's not give anything away there. So he's great too. So what happens is basically by the time you get to the end of this, you have Lithgow and you have Bridges. And I think we can say this. What happens is 30 years ago, Lithgow and Bridges have to come to terms and come together to get somebody out of a country. And they have to get somebody out of the country in which Bridges plays the character Dan Chase, which he basically abandoned the CIA and started fighting for the rebels in Afghanistan.
Yes.
Right. Against the evil Russians.
He did, but at the same time, he's talking to Lithgow, and Lithgow's giving him guns to give to the resistance.
Right. To the resistance.
So he's not totally out, but he's kind of operating on his own, and Lithgow's helping him.
Right.
So, which is dangerous for Lithgow in his career.
Correct. But he still does it anyways.
Yes.
So what happens is Bridges' character, Dan Chase, eventually has to leave Afghanistan, and he brings the wife of the warlord with him. Okay.
Thing away.
And that's all I'm going to say. 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 Right. So and then well, people, you'll figure that out in the first episode. So people have to figure out what happens there.
Yes,
Um,
they will figure it out in the first episode. You're right.
they'll figure out the first episode. So it all catches up to him like 35 years later or whatever. And Hiema Boss plays the older Abby Chase. She is one of the most underrated actresses working today. I believe she was in Succession. She was also, I believe, in the House of Sand and Fog
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was
with
her.
I think that was her. And I think, yeah, she's been in Succession. And then I thought she was in the House of Sand and Fog with Ben Kingsley, and she was fantastic.
Is she a Palestinian actress?
I, I'm not sure of her, but of her ethnicity, but she is phenomenal. I think I don't know if she was in the House of Sand and Fog, but she's great. I mean, and even though, yeah, she was in Munich, even though she is her appearances are limited, her acting is phenomenal, just phenomenal. So I also want to give her a lot of credit.
And people can probably tell by what we're talking about. A lot of characters in this, and you got to pay attention.
And you got to pay.
And they'll help you, but you got to pay attention. And I don't know about you guys, but I only watch shows now with closed caption on, because you can miss. If they mumble, you miss something.
Right.
In this episode or this series, you could miss something pretty important.
Right.
When,
and there's right.
Lithgow or Bridges is talking. And so I make sure I got that up there just so I don't.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with our hearing at this stage.
No, I can hear. I hear just fine. I hear you.
I can hear the mumbling as clear as day.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not gonna give any more away in this one. The question, what happens is after 7 episodes, there's a cliffhanger. And it's because Jeff Bridges was sick.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second, because this is the story behind the story.
Yeah, so let's go.
They wanted Jeff Bridges. Apparently, from the minute he read the pilot, he wanted this, and he had not done television, so he wanted this, and they brought him in pre-pandemic.
Yeah,
and he started filming.
I'm going to pull out an extension cord as you do it.
Okay, pull it out. And he got diagnosed with lymphoma.
Right.
Non-Hodgkin's, I think, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Because it was the one that you can cure.
Right.
And so he was undergoing chemo. He's when you see this, he's physically acting. He's in fighting. He's doing stuff that's, he's 72, 73 years old. So he's probably 70 when he was doing this. And this is rigorous stuff he was doing. And he suddenly finds out he's got lymphoma. He had a tumor in his stomach. He underwent a lot of chemo. And so they had to halt production. And then because of the treatment, he had no, immune system. He got COVID, and he was in intensive care for a long time and nearly died. So this whole thing could have never happened. It's possible it wouldn't have happened. So, but he eventually got better and came back. And I think that's when they filmed the Lithgow car thing, I think.
Yeah.
Can't recall. I mean, I read about this, and it's fascinating to me. I
know
the stories behind the stories. So
season 2 is coming back. So it brings us to the discussion. Back when, I fell in love with television, or before then, you always had the season cliffhanger. Dallas was the most watched television show for a while there, when Who Shot JR, right?
Who Shot JR?
I had to wait until next fall to find out. But with the binge watching now, and the fact that, basically I watched these 7 episodes in 2 days, you don't have that anymore.
You did when it first came out, because FX had it, and it would come out on, I think, Thursday night, and you had to wait till next Thursday.
Right, but now I'm talking about waiting next season.
Well, now, we don't know when that is. I don't know if they're even filming it, because in July they said there's going to be a second season. They think 8 episodes.
But I don't know. Maybe Homecoming with Mandy Patinkin. Maybe was there? You might have had, but generally, when you binge something for a season, they usually wrap it up. They don't really have a cliffhanger anymore, I don't think.
Well, they got to get to the next year, to the next
They
season.
but they don't have a cliffhanger like who, like what happened. I mean, usually everything's kind of answered and they set something up for the next season. But I don't like at the end of a Succession. Well, maybe at the end of Succession, maybe I'm wrong. Wait a minute. Okay, at the end of Succession season 1, they're on the boat and the old man is on the boat and he smiles when his son sings in front of all the cameras. So that's a cliffhanger. I mean, that's definitely
This is a true cliffhanger, and I say that because when I watched it the first time, and the credits came up after they're walking the tarmac, I thought, "Oh, this is fantastic! I can't wait till the next episode. This is going to be great." And nothing, nada.
right.
So it was intentional. They had to trim 10 episodes worth of material into 7.
The 7, yeah. Yeah, I
For
mean, even if you take a look at Succession,
logistic region.
the most recent season of Succession, you understand that Tom has gone on the side of London, and that it's the 3 kids against the old man and Tom now, right? So that was established at the end of the season. You just don't know how that's going to evolve. Like, how are the kids going to get back into play the next season? But this was a real cliffhanger, which is interesting. Do you think it's better to have something like this, or are we just so accustomed now that we want it right away?
Well, you can't get the second season right away. Look at Ted Lasso. We did a whole show about Ted Lasso. And
Right.
Is a cliffhanger, right? There's a cliffhanger there.
Yeah. I don't know if it's
Nate's going to go coach the, what's her name's ex-husband's
right.
team.
But
So-
Ted is still, but we know what Ted is.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
do
know
we
if
know
it's
where
dramatic.
Ted is and what Ted's going to do? We don't really know. He
Yeah.
had the anxiety attack and that whole thing.
Maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe I'm just not seeing it as much. I
I think it's because this one was such a
so dramatic.
clear, like, get ready. You're going to see what's coming next, and you don't see what's coming next because I don't know if they filmed it.
Well, some of the decisions, like with HBO Max, I believe with the flight attendant, I think was, they wouldn't drop them all at once. I mean, if you were an executive at any of these streamers,
Yeah, you wouldn't drop them.
would you drop it all at once, or
No,
would
I'd
you
do just what these guys did.
week by week?
Build up the thing, because every time we went to dinner, I would say somebody'd say, "Hey, what are you watching?" I'm like, "Oh, you got to see The Old Man. It's fantastic." Or they'd say to me, "Hey, have you seen The Old Man?" Everybody was talking about it. It's like Queen's Gambit. It was like so good because it's Jeff Bridges, and you have low expectations because it's TV, right? And it's not TV anymore.
Yeah, I don't
It's
have
not
more
TV.
Yeah,
TV
I
is
don't
not
have-
what we used to think of as TV. It's not the Andy Griffith show.
No.
It's not the Mike Douglas show. It's
Oh,
not.
no. It's not.
It's
Yeah,
not. It's not Dallas, right?
yeah, it's not.
No, it's TV is now the new place. In the theaters I keep telling you,
No,
they're
it's
dead.
not.
They're deader than a doornail. I
Well-
know they're open, but they're losing money left and right.
I mean, I have to tell you. By the way, Joel Gray is also in his limited activity in this.
He got old.
He got old, but he's still good.
He
I
got
mean,
old.
but he's old. God, he's really old, dude. I mean, but he's so good. He's still good at it.
He's great.
Now, here's another question to wrap it up. So you would rather see week by week. You don't want to see it all dropped at once. Once the season's over, you can drop it all at once, right? I mean, say the season's over. If somebody wants
Lasso. You had to wait a week to see Lasso, and it's fine. It gets. Yeah,
but
I don't
what
mind.
I'm saying is, like, say the season's over, like you've done it, like they dropped all of them.
Yeah.
Right. And then if you want to binge it after it's been dropped, you can binge it then.
Yeah, that's fine too.
You can
I've done that.
That's fine.
I think I did that with Godless. I can't remember. I think it.
I like to binge. See, I like to binge.
Oh, look, binge
I like
is
to watch
fun,
2 or 3.
but look, if something like this comes out and I see the first episode and I love it, and the next episode's another week, okay. It's
Yeah,
like football. You wait till next Sunday to watch another game. That's I'm used to that.
What do you think? I also, because of where we are in our demographic, and I'm out there hustling and auditioning, I think people still want to watch old actors.
Yeah, people don't mind watching old actors. Hollywood didn't like old actors because they had to get them into the theaters.
Right.
If you got people in the theaters, the demographic was young, right? Think of Titanic. But see, that all changed too, right? Hollywood went crazy because, oh my God, Leonardo DiCaprio, all the girls went 3 or 4 times to see Titanic. Oh, we got to make more movies for young girls. No, first of all, those young girls brought boys too. Second of all, it was just a one-off as far as I'm concerned. And then they started aiming it for young boys, and it lasted about 2 years. And then guess what? They didn't go to the theater anymore because they had video games. They stayed home with their friends and played video games and didn't go to the theater. So guess what the theaters did? The studios did. They made movies based on video games. So, you can't chase an audience. Just make good stuff. Just make good stuff. People will watch it. And that goes back to your old actors, old reliable actors. Jesus, it's an insult to Jeff Bridges to call him a reliable actor. He's far better than that. But what I mean is, you know what you're getting when you see Jeff Bridges. I saw this and I said, oh man, Jeff Bridges in this, it can't suck. End of story.
Same thing with Clint Eastwood. Same thing with Helen Mirren. If you tell me Helen Mirren did something, it's not going to suck.
No. You trust their choices.
Glenn Close isn't something, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. And so people have always been willing to do that. But now we have it's a title of the show: movies, streaming, and in between. Streaming's changed it because you can sit home and watch it, and there's a ton of content, which means older people can be in it. Look what won the Academy Award. You know any of those actors in Coda?
Right.
You know, what's her name? The deaf actress. You knew her.
Right. Marlee Matlin.
Marlee Matlin, you knew.
But she wasn't an A-lister. You just knew her.
No, in fact, she hadn't been anything in a long time.
And it was
She's a great actress, but
it was on Apple.
Won the Academy Award.
Yeah. It's content is king.
Content's king.
Content's king. No.
All right. So I don't think we've spoiled anything. I think we've hopefully made the audience
watch Your Man. Watch Your Man. And also, and I'm not giving anything away here, but at the beginning, I'll just ask you this final question. The title, The Old Man, does it pertain just to Jeff Bridges?
No.
No.
We don't. The producers have an answer for that, and it's a great one. So if people want to look it up, they can. But he's not the old man. When you see the first episode, when I saw the previews, I thought, oh, well, look, he looks old. He's the old man. It's deeper than that.
Yeah. Good stuff. The Old Man. I'm glad you recommended it, Drew Yanno. Thanks for watching Screen Time, everybody. Movies, streaming, and more. For Drew, I'm Gary Tanguay.